Keith Grinke from Top of My News here with UFC fighter Roland Delorme. Does that ever get tiring?
No, never.
Never?
Tiring, no.
So we last saw you in The Ultimate Fighter, the last season of Ultimate Fighter. You took out BJ Ferguson to get in the house.
Yep.
And how did that feel?
That felt great. I mean, there's not too many. You know, you've seen the fight. I mean, it was everything that could have gone right did. You know what I mean? He took me down at first real quick. I recognized that. I got back up. I noticed that he's coming in off I would jab and he followed it in. And then when I jabbed, I threw right hand right after. And I felt like I caught him. I caught him good. And then it felt like he rested when he tried shooting on me. And then I was able to grab it Kimura, roll with it, and then get a few transitions from there. So, you know, it's one of those things. Once you get going, you know, I can hit one thing to another to another to another without really thinking about it. Yeah.
And then after that, we saw you in the show with a foot the size of a watermelon. You know, what happened and how were you coming into that TJ Dillashaw fight?
You know, I got a staph infection about I guess the day before the weigh-ins for the fight, or the day before the fight announcements. I got a staph infection, and then they pushed my fight back a week so that way I could actually fight, or else because the doctor said like there's no way at first until I got some antibiotics in me and stuff like that, and then whatever, man, next week I went out and did what I had to do, right? I mean, I knew who I was fighting beforehand, and whatever, it's not really a big deal. It sucks that I got sick, but I mean, whatever. It is what it is, you know. It's you don't feel great before every fight.
Yeah. So and you lost to Dillashaw, who went on to win the Ultimate Fighter.
No, he got second. He John Dodson won.
Oh, John Dodson. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, John Dodson won. You did get to go in the finale, and you took on Ferguson's brother, Josh Ferguson, and you know, a great performance there.
Yeah, you know, the performance was all right. You know what I mean? The few things I don't like I did in that fight, there's always, I mean, every fight you're in, there's always something you like, there's always something you dislike, there's always something you didn't do right, you know. But for the most part, the fight kind of went the way I thought it was going to go. You know what I mean? He was fast at the beginning, standing up, he was quick, he was in and out, he wasn't standing in front of me. And then once he got tired of it, I figured, you know, I'd be able to catch him eventually, you know. All I got to do, throw enough punches, is eventually one's going to land, right? I mean.
Yeah, but, you know, the first round, you had him in a triangle for the majority of the round. Second round, he comes out, and, you know, I think he beat you in the second round.
I figured,
it seemed like close. You were the one tiring out, and I was getting a little worried watching it on TV.
Well, really, what happened was that I kind of blew my legs a little bit trying to finish that triangle, and then the second round was like that was the round where I was gonna relax a little bit and get my win back. And halfway through the second, I started to land my jab, I started landing punches, and I started to feel like, okay, he's slowing down. I'm picking up again now, and I knew for sure, like when I came out for the third, I was gonna be fresh, and I felt really good coming out for the third. I felt like I was really fresh and I was really ready to go, and it didn't take long after that. And I landed one punch, and then he was on the floor.
Well, and you finished him with a submission, and you know you're early on, you know, in the finale, and so you're back in the room, you know, with Curtis and Lindsey Hawks, and is the only thing on your mind whether you're gonna get submission of the night? Because, you know, it was a submission. No one else was submitting anybody.
Yeah, you know, I was, it was on my mind, honestly. It was the first thing I thought about. I was like, you know, I know that Brian Carey got a submission right before I did, and that was like the only submission because that was the third fight. And then I caught him with that choke. Yeah. And then I knew right away. I was like, okay, that was probably nice. You know, I was like, so far it's good. And then it went to the second last fight, and then so every fight after that, I was like, I don't care what happens, man. No submission, no submission, no submission. And then second last fight, after getting dropped real bad, he pulled out an armbar right away. I was actually in the stands watching it, and I knew right away. I was like happy and sad and mad all at the same time because I knew that I wasn't gonna get it now.
All right, so it's been several months since the Ultimate Fighter finale. Yeah. We've seen guys like Johnny Bedson and others with their second fights now already. Have you heard anything? What's up with that?
Man, I'm just waiting to see what happens. You know, it is what it is, and I just wait and see. That's all I can do.
Yeah, well, you know, that's all you can do, and I'm sure you're going to do well. You know, when you get that phone call, you know, I'd like to thank you for your time. I don't know if you have any sponsors you'd like to thank.
I just want to thank all my teammates, all the guys at WAMA, all the guys that helped me train every day, all the guys that, you know, got me to where I was. You know, all these guys really got me to where I needed to be to compete on a level that, you know what I mean, everybody wants to compete on, you know. And now that I got there, you know, it's realistic. You start to see it's realistic before you kind of think about, oh, you know, I'd like to get there, but I probably never will. You know, I'll probably whatever. And then you get there, and you're like, man, it's, you know, it can happen. You just gotta you know, work hard and want it bad enough. And I hope to see a lot of other guys I train with too. You know, now fighting UFC. Now that I got in.
Do you feel like, you know, you're the thin edge of the wedge? You know, you got the wedge in the door, and the rest of your team's going to start hammering at it, because, you know, these guys seem to be on fire since you've been there.
Man, it's, well, you know, it's a good confidence. It's a good confidence booster when knowing I went out there and I trained with all these guys. And you know what I mean? All those guys aren't much better than the guys I train with here. You know what I mean? There's no, I mean, yeah, it's better at some things, but then other things we're better than they are. You know, so it's you know, nobody's the same, and it's nice to know that, you know, if I can compete on a level, they can too. You know, we're all equally skilled. We're just slightly different. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time, Roland Delorme, and, you know, wish you all the best, and can't wait to hear you, that next fight announcement.
Thanks.